So on the left is the agenda that we're gonna go over today. So AMFM did come in when it was first released with a 29.96%, 96% renewal increase. We were just finally able to get the rates revised. The rates are now at a 17.5% increase. Plus, we got a $50,000 premium credit. But they're only reducing the rates on the current plans. We tried to get alternative plans, but they will not reduce the rates on those. We'll touch base on the claims, and I think you'll understand. So we went to United Healthcare as well. United Healthcare is coming in with a 18.4%, a 46% increase, plus a $20,000 premium credit. Sandra,
So United Healthcare has a product called Surest. At this point, it is not competitive. It's a 23.67% increase. We also went to PHP. They are a 24.87% increase. And of course, we went to Cigna and they were unable to obtain the rates or be competitive. So they just decided to decline instead.
all of our other products, ancillary, our rate holds, our dental, we did get originally a 15% increase. We went back to negotiate and we got it down to an 8% increase. It's very little when you look at it on the spreadsheet.
The reason for the dental increase is because so many people are using it, which is good, right? So it means we have the right network. People are utilizing it and they're able to see dentists around here. So we need to keep that in mind about not maybe changing that network due to that increase because the utilization is good.
So we do have a claims report in here that we included as well. So claims January 2022 through August is we got to 2024. Claims paid was $5,086,006. Premiums paid in was $4,377,000. So you can see that we're kind of over 100% loss ratio. Just in this we have six high claimants totaling for this current year of 1,627,000 ongoing claims. So I did bring that data as well, just so that you would have it. Of course, that's private health information. I mean, there's nobody's name on it or anything. It's just claims.
If you pull out this right over to the right there, we can just kind of touch on that before we go through the plans, just so you can see what is currently going on within the claims.
So you can look at this and you can see that we have the six claimants that are over 50,000. And then you can see the demographics. So it shows you the demographics and then it shows you their age range, right? And then it shows you the conditions that are going on. It's extremely small. And then you can see where it shows you medical and pharmacy. I mean, pharmacy today is what's getting our renewals. I mean, the pharmacy, cost on these medications that are just extremely expensive. So you can see the total right there, which I pointed out earlier, is $1,627,000.
You got a magnifying glass?
I know. Cheaters on here.
Same here. So when the carriers send it that way, if we do anything to blow it up, it gets really distorted. So we apologize. It's either micro or so distorted we can't read the letters.
And then if we turn the page, it also includes the top 5 health conditions that you can see that caused a majority of our claims for this period of time. And you can, they're just outlined for here. And then you can look over to the right and we can see inpatient, outpatient, and where the claims were occurred and what the cost was.
What's DX? Primary DX?
It's the total amount. So if you look there, you can see that one is up here at the top. And if you look down, that is the total, I don't know what the DX actually stands for.
Okay.
Okay, but
That's
it's
what I was wondering.
I know. Because but it shows you the total amount of cost. And then you could turn the page and it shows you the top 25 specialty, drugs that are being taken. We have a lot of therapeutical, it looks like. So it shows you, what the cost is. So I would say the first one, and you know, you can see is, 44,300, and that would probably be for a, it's a neuromuscular agent drug for someone that is going through some. And then down below, medical dispense specialty drugs, so you can see, the cost, covered, expense amounts, so we have 11 of the rheumatoid arthritic medication. And per claim, it's $6,000. So far with that, we have $50,000 and $680 incurred, expense for that claim. I like for you to be able to see this, just so you can see where the cost breakdowns are. Then if we go to the left-hand side of the folder,
I'm gonna go through the plans with you. So our very first sheet, which illustrates all blue, that's just talking about our current plans. So all the way to the left is our current 2 plans that we have. Please take note all the way to the outside of the box there. For example, our option 7, if we look down at the bottom, we have 26 employee onlys enrolled in that plan. We have 6 employee spouse, 8 employee children, and 8 family. We then look right over to the right, and this is our most popular plan. We have 31 employee onlys, 1 employee spouse, 6 employee children, and 10 family. So when we go over to the renewal, the second box there, you'll see there are no plan changes. This was your renewal out the door at the bottom, the 29.96%. After some negotiations, our revised renewal then is all the way to the right. We were able to bring the rates from a 29.96 to a 17.50. With that $50,000 premium credit, which would come on your 3rd month's invoice of renewal, then we took that into calculation and it would bring your annual total down to as if it was a 14.44% increase. If we look to the page behind it, we of course went to market. United Healthcare here, we have their largest nationwide networks, the Choice Plus, and we pulled the plans closest to what you have. They are very similar, and they are at an 18.46%. They gave us a $20,000 premium credit, which brings it down to a 17.24. Now, I've mentioned to Sarah, and we've used a product in the past called the difference card.
and we did have it here before in the past.
They have completely revamped it to where we think it would be more usable, but unfortunately, our current carrier, Anthem, like Debbie had said, we're not giving you rate relief on other plans. We will only give you rate relief on what you have. In order for the difference card to find us savings, we would need to really change it to a high deductible plan, so that disallows us to present that to you. If you're interested or want to be open to moving to United Healthcare, then we would present you a proposal with their plans with the difference card. And we just wanted to check with you prior to doing that. If that's something you want to see, we can do it right away. But with the United coming in higher, we weren't sure if that's even something you want to look at, but we could present you with one more option with them, as their plan choices.
But if they're already hired, it's not gonna benefit.
Well, what we would do is we would purchase really high deductible plans from United, and then this difference card comes in to show how they're able to make a savings.
Before it was a problem with the funding and how they did it, here. And they no longer fund it like that. So it's not like it has to be written from your checking account. You would make one bill, you would have premiums and you'd pay them
Who pays the
directly.
amounts on the difference card?
So you as a company, and we would, give you a presentation on it, you create a separate account. It's just how it's pulled and things are completely different than how Sarah, and actually, one of the reasons that we had to step away from it was too administrative for here. And it ended up not being a savings. We have different claims now. We have different renewals. We just want to let you know, we do have that in our back pocket if you're open to changing carriers. I know that when we have high claim, it's like what we do. Sometimes we don't want to make disruptions to changing carriers. Or, we might want to save moving to United Healthcare when our conditions calm down, meaning we would be taking all the risk that we have now and exposing it to this other carrier. When maybe next year we could have changes and, we'd be able to go over fresh. But we can present that to you if you'd like to see it.
But if the difference card, if the county's having to pay that difference, how's that a savings?
They go
If
to
we're still
purchase,
paying it.
because they purchase a really skitty plan, like maybe a deductible of, let's just throw it out there, $6,000, and then we create another plan with that. And yes, you're correct. It's like being self-insured with a protection of fully insured.
So what we would do is we present you two United Healthcare plans that have a much lower premium. And then the difference card comes in and creates where the member would receive, let's just give an example, the first $2,000 on this card. And only if they exceeded over that amount would then they have to put in money for their medical. It is a very, it's a great concept. We have a lot of clients on it. And a lot of clients enjoy the new platform. So if you're open for wanting to see a presentation, we could do that. We just weren't sure if right now with the claims that we have, if you'd want to change carriers.
Well, I'd want to make sure that Sarah was agreeable to it because she's the one who takes care of it. And I don't want her to have to go through what she went through last time.
No, and we have
Right.
discussed that with Sarah. That is why we did not do a presentation prior to this, and we wanted to show you where the carriers are, where they are.
And we know that in the past, we wanted to get rid of the HRA, do away with the HRA, and that's why we went to richer plans so that we didn't have to have the employees mess with the HRA, the reimbursement dollars that we had before for years.
Sarah, I don't remember the difference, Charles.
Oh, I do.
It really does.
I know.
It was, I think, a good employee benefit, but on the side of, we were cutting checks and check registers every day, pretty much, because as employees would use it, then we would have to fund it. And they were the difference card was actually cutting checks like out of our bank account. So then we'd have to match it in the Lao software. And so every day it was, I ended up with stacks of reports at the end of the year.
So
And didn't you say that they were taking it out of the employees' checking accounts first and they didn't?
No, they were taking it out of the counties.
Oh,
and,
okay.
it was the banking through the county that was it was very hard to navigate with making sure our software matched the bank and.
So Sarah actually gave feedback directly to the difference card. And because of Sarah's
Yeah.
feedback, they made some changes because they realized that municipalities are having challenges. So it is different. But if it's not something we want to look at, we can save that also. We just wanted to bring it up, that is a possibility.
But your idea was not. Would the county will not benefit much from it financially? And our employees will or no?
I think for the employees, it was beneficial. So that way they didn't have that high deductible. They did contribute. So if that's something we need to look at, we can, but it kind of
That
sounds
is
like.
switching carriers. That is moving from
Yeah,
Anthem to
and I don't
United
know-
because I cannot get Anthem to release any
Right.
alternative plans.
And I don't know if switching to a different carrier is the best move for next year. I don't get many complaints with Anthem as far as the actual coverage and the claims. There's a few, every now and then there's something where
Right.
something's denied or, there's more information, but overall, I think most people are happy with Anthem. So if there's a way that we can keep that, and like they said, maybe keep that carrier change and the difference card in our back pocket, it makes sense to me. if we can obviously fund it and afford.
I
you
was
know.
just very happy that we got it down to under 15%.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really the norm out there. And with our claims.
18 or 29 or something.
We of course go in stress mode then, we're fighting for every dollar that we can get. So when we were able to get it down to 15%, seeing that we were 100% over loss ratio for Anthem and for them to go down, but
Right.
yeah.
I personally have the Anthem card too here, and it's great.
Well, and I just do want to point one thing out. So we did also go to PHP, right? And they were a 24.87. So we're presenting to you comparable plans from other carriers that are higher than our current carriers offer. So that is a real partnership that they took into account. We shared all these other quotes with them. And we told them about, being competitive, and we were really happy with the response.
And the Anthem underwriter knows where we have, need to be, so that we next year don't get hit, with a really huge, and I think that's why they based the renewal of us not changing plans.
Rachel, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanna say, like, with the difference card too, you're basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, like, you're basically taking a chance. We're saving money if the employees don't use the card and don't use their benefit. If every single employee uses that deductible, uses all the co-pays, then we may be saving some money, but we're not saving as much money. So with the difference card, we're taking a chance on the employees not using the benefit.
I'd say most of them will anyhow.
From seeing our claims, we do have a lot of activity currently.
And it was a little, like, it's beneficial, like Sarah said, for the employees, because they're not paying that high deductible. But it is also a little confusing for a lot of our employees when they go to the hospital and they go to because we had a lot of questions,
Yeah, why they have two cards and when they can use the purple card and when they show it, and so. There was a lot of education, I feel like, that we had to give on.
Yeah, there was.
Completely agree.
Yeah, there was education. Oh, our ancillary.
Yep, so for our ancillary, I'm just going right behind it. So currently, right now, your basic life insurance is a rate hold. Your basic AD&D that pairs with the life is a rate hold. The short-term disability is a rate hold. Your voluntary long-term disability is a rate hold. We discussed that we were able to negotiate your dental from a 15% down to an 8%. It basically is going employee only from $30.07 to $32.48. Again, very utilized, which is a positive thing. And with your vision is also a rate hold.
So it's only gonna cost the employee $2 more.
Yes.
For that tier of employee, that is correct.
Yeah.
Sarah, you won't deal with it, any suggestion?
Like a recommendation. I am in favor of keeping Anthem and not doing an HRA this year, since they were able to get it down to that 14%.
Yeah, I think that was huge
I
from what they
think-
showed us. in Dartmouth.
Yeah, I think, leaving it the way it is, and then like they said, if we need to look at it, or keep that in our back pocket for future years, but I think Hank staying with Anthem and not changing carriers is probably the best.
And if we did it, maybe the next year, we let them present it to us, just so our employees can see it,
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
ahead of time.
I
We ain't
agree.
at the last minute trying to decide.
Yeah, you know what? Our renewal came out really late. It wasn't us. We are on top of it.
I'm not saying that.
I know,
we
but you
should throw it, I'm
don't.
just saying. Right, absolutely, you guys have always done good for us, so.
We appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Could I ask a stupid question?
No question is stupid.
Which one of you is Holly and which one is Debbie?
We love this game.
Which one do you think is Debbie?
You.
No.
No name.
No, I'm Holly.
Okay.
Yeah. Holly is always sweet and kind like this. She fits her name, doesn't she?
You got any questions on that?
No,
Mike, you got anything on it?
Well. So I've got some experience setting things like this up, and employee pay and insurance is a package. So right now, the company that I manage is trending towards a higher deductible plan with an HSA plan. And we can increase employee pay because of the money that we save. So when you look at it as an employee package, it still comes together pretty good. And for employees that don't use it at all, it's great. And for the employees that use it, it still comes out about the same. They just see the money coming in from a different direction, if that makes any sense.
We do offer a lot of the high deductible health plans with the health savings account. The most important thing is that you have to contribute because as you know, that they have no first dollar benefits. So for a lot of people with, I don't know what industry you're talking about, but for I feel this industry, we've had this for a long time. And I think that you could set up a second alternative if you want for an HSA. But that employee has to have first dollar because if they go to get their medication and it's $350, a lot of them don't have $350 out of the right away to go purchase that medication. Or if they're getting a Ozempic medication, I mean, they're $1,300. I mean, of course, there's, we educate every year we have an education meeting for the employees that we talk about the benefits. But I do have a high deductible health plan myself with an HSA. It's just that as an employer, you really do need to help fund it,
Right.
like you said.
Which the company I work for does.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And
it
it's
still comes out more attractive in the end,
especially when you learn it.
right?
Because the first time I went into and I pulled up to Walgreens and my son's Crohn's disease medication was $500, I about died. But after utilizing it and learning how to seek the least expensive care, as far as like utilizing labs, imaging centers outside of the hospital, it makes you shop for insurance.
Yeah, and if you're paying out of an HSA account, sometimes you can use like a GoodRx card, and not even turn it in, and it comes out way cheaper.
We do educate that every year about GoodRx, about using that and the plans that we have. And I really do think that the members are more engaged in that now because we've always met with them on a one-on-one basis. They all come in. And if we share, are you feeling anything or do you have questions? If they ask about medications, we literally pull out our cell phones, enter it for them and text them the GoodRx coupon.
Right.
And I do believe people really are using it.
Yeah.
So when we come for the renewal this year, we'll do the same because those coupons are good for a year. I couldn't agree with you more. Just like what Debbie shared with you on the claims, our RX spend, when we see how high it is, that is imperative that we make them just say, how are you, filling your prescriptions? Are we being open about looking at other areas? It is work, but it's not so hard when we text them the coupon.
Yeah, looking at the claims, it looks like that the medications is a pretty big chunk. And with the HSA, it would encourage more to actually wouldn't even turn it in towards the insurance. So it could keep that lower.
Yeah, you really have to, I've got smart. I mean, I've been on it now probably for about 12 years. So I do have funds still that roll over every year, which helps. And we could look at though, I could bring in an option like that. I just can't get it from Anthem at this time. I could get it from United Healthcare if you would like to see HSA option. Or if that's something that you really would like to see next year with Anthem, I totally am aboard to include that and even try to get to be able to offer 3 plans.
We have spoke about that for several years. There was another board member that really, and we kind of came down to, it would probably more as if for this group be for maybe someone that wants to use it for maybe the tax write-off, right? Opposed to the medical plan of it, allowing you to, increase the funds there. But for the health plan for this current, with our current members, having the drug card and copays just seems to be a little bit more of a benefit at this time.
Yeah, and what we did a few years ago is the money that we saved going to the higher deductible, we just divvied that right back up into payroll. So people actually got a raise to help kind of offset some of those expenses.
Right. No, I totally agree with you.
Right.
Yeah, I really do.
Would you be okay if we just wait until next year to present all, have them present all three, or do you want us to look into it this year?
Well, my opinion doesn't really matter right now,
Right,
but,
yeah, it does.
I think seeing everything is important.
Yeah.
So if I were sitting up there with you guys, I would say I wanna see everything that we can see.
All right,
How much time do we got for this year?
I can go back to my office today and probably have an HSA, a plan, real quickly here, put on here to show you. The other thing that I would do is I would go back to Anthem and say, they really would like to add a third plan if we could get an HSA plan. And see
Keeping
what-
the other plans the way that they are.
So I would go to Anthem and try to get, tell the underwriter right away what we want and see if we can get approval from Anthem to release an
And that's
HSA.
what I'm asking, do we got time? You know what I mean? I don't want you.
The one thing we do have to keep in
Thursday,
mind
so
though,
we
when
gotta
we
decide
offer
tomorrow.
multiple plans, we need a certain percentage enrolled in each plan. So I don't know if we are gonna have enough people that understand it this year to fulfill that obligation. We could educate people while we're sitting here, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We do have some companies, for example, we have a factory in Hammond that we're working with, and for the past 3 years, we educated, but they didn't want a member just to enroll in that plan for the savings and then say, oh my gosh, I can't afford to take my daughter to the doctor. Your copay right now for going to the doctor, if you're gonna go to a primary care, is $25. If a member enrolls in that plan, it's gonna be $120. So we just want to make sure we're not compromising care, because I don't know, and you tell me, Sarah, if we offered it, if we'd even have the funds this year to fund for the people that would enroll in it. So we just want to make sure we roll it out successfully.
Yeah.
And that a member doesn't choose it because of the lower premium and then comes to you and says, I can't afford my medication.
But I understand what you're saying. You keep the
Absolutely.
savings, and like, if we have a big savings, he's saying, take that money and give it to the employees in their HSA account, correct?
Correct. Or use that budget to increase the payroll budget for the next year.
Mhm.
It kind of helps offset that, but if you go in with an HSA to get a medical procedure, and this has come up several times for me. You ask them, so is it gonna save me anything to even turn it in on my insurance, or should I just pay for it out of my HSA? And, they may say, well, cash price is $150, and it doesn't even go on the insurance. And you just pay that
right.
out of your HSA.
That's what I do.
Or they'll turn it into your insurance, they bill the insurance $1,000, and you still are paying almost the same in a deductible.
That's exactly what.
So it would just be the matter of having the funds available right away. Over the years that we've handled the account here, it's been very important to say that there might be some lower waged employees, and to make up for that, we have to strive, we have to shine in our benefits, because that is what is retaining the business. And we've always kind of followed that motto of saying, we don't ever want them to feel that their benefits decrease in any way. As you're saying, it is part of the package, your salary, your insurance, that creates the reason why you remain as an employee. So I agree.
Why don't I go back to the carriers today, and then I could update Sarah, and I get a time frame of when they think, you know what I mean, for Anthem, as soon as I get in the car, I'll call Anthem right
Well,
away.
but to answer Donnie's question, he wants to be sure we don't run out of time to make a decision, so.
Well, that's what I mean. I would call today, Donnie, and find out, will we have these rates by Monday? Because I think we have to have these rates as soon as possible.
They're having a special meeting Monday at 10:30 anyway. maybe
That's what I
we could
was
follow.
thinking, if we can have something by Monday morning.
But if not,
I don't know,
I'm all for what you're saying, Mike, but I personally think
we should
we
just,
vote on this, we decide something on this. And then we, even 6 months down the road, have a meeting so that employees can see.
Yeah.
Do you know what we've done for, it's about the same size of your group, and it's a machine shop. This year, we went in twice just to educate the employees what was coming. So we brought literature, we talked about the HSA, how,
I think that would be,
and we
beneficial.
built it so the employees could understand it by the time that we
Mhm.
implemented it the following year, which they are putting it in place this year.
I got a son that's on that, he loves, they're like you're saying. If you, sometimes it's hard to even pay the $25 for a lot of employees here, not dogging no employee.
Mhm.
I think, you know what I mean? I totally understand what you're saying. I don't mind them. I'd like to present it to our employees so they know that that might be an option next year.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, I think to keep, everything carrying on and.
Right.
And then next year, I think we build a plan that, we look at the savings on it and we base everything and. We offer a copay and a HSA plan. And then we just, within 2 years or 3 years down the road, we're not gonna have a copay plan, we'd have an HSA, a high deductible health plan.
I'd like to see that. At least.
Show
our employees,
Yeah.
this could be an option.
It does take a gradual step to make a big change
Right.
like that.
Cause we might, like you say, the employees gotta sign up, there might be only 10 in the whole county that would, consider it, so. What do you think on that, sir?
Yeah, I like that. Sort of a slow, like a
Mhm.
roll into, yeah.
So we can set a meeting up maybe in March or April to
Yeah.
start
Just
discussing
to
it.
start it, yeah, and see
Yeah.
what the employees are thinking. Sound all right with you, Mike?
Sounds good to me.
Rachel?
I'd get a committee. We had a committee we used to work with.
I was on that.
I know. It was good feedback from your
Departments, and so they could go out and we talk about it as a group. Even like the other thing we did was we talked about a lot of like wellness stuff that's built into these plans. That we want employees to take advantage of, but sometimes they really don't know, so if if we have a committee with some of the managers and they really learn, then they can, explain it to the employees to make sure that they are taking the benefit,
You can
taking
imagine.
advantage of all that.
Louis was such a great.
Summerfield?
Yeah.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Problem?
Bailey's now, if you want.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, that's.
That is too funny.
I like Louis.
Hey, that's
He
what
is-
Sarah and Uncle Lincoln set up the group, the committee like you're.
That would be great. Cause it makes it easier that the you know what I mean? Everybody's here, we can meet,
Right, yeah. You got input all along.
Right.
Yeah.
we got buy-in and.
They think we make a motion, just carry on with what we got, but
Yeah, just, I'll make the motion that we go with revised renewal with the $50,000 credit.
$20,000 credit,
Oh, it's.
No, it's-
yeah, it says-
With United.
sorry.
You're right, you're right.
We got credits just flying all over
Right.
our brains right now.
Yeah, this was through Anthem.
Okay,
that always went on the motion.
Yeah,
I'll second it, all in favor?
right.
all right, we already have, we'll set the meetings up and, get it enrolled
Rock
with
and roll.
our enrollment system and get the rates updated, cover rates updated. And, we'll. go forward.
If possible with that committee, I mean, I don't mind being on it, I'm not saying that, but since Sarah has to do it, I would like Sarah to be on that committee also, if she's willing.
That's what I said, that's your department, that's up to you and Sarah to take it over from here.
Because Sarah's the one who has to deal with it, and I want her to be happy.
Yep.
It's very important to keep Sarah happy.
It is, because I don't wanna lose her.
Yeah, so we understand, we don't wanna lose her either.
So Sarah, I have my schedule with, I don't know if you know dates that work good, or if you want us to shoot each other this afternoon.
We can see if we can coordinate while you're here.
Okay, perfect. Right, we'll do that.
Thank you.
We
very much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice meeting you.
Yes,
Yeah.
nice to see you. Nice to
Nice to
see
see
you. Good to see you.
It's nice to see you.
Let's better make a motion to adjourn.
All right, I make a motion that John.